Popalones in you.
It's either a button on the mic or a setting in Discord.
Uh-oh. There you are. We hear you.
Did I find the fucking party?
You found
Yes.
the fucking party.
Oh, man. Nothing makes me feel older than trying to do anything on fucking Discord.
Yeah.
I just immediately evolved into a 65-year-old man.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, no, I mean, even I have problems with Discord, and I live here. So
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, I run this shit, and people smarter than me will be like, "Why don't you do this, this, and this?" And I'm like, "I don't know how to fucking do that."
Like, I know just enough to do the shit I'm here to do.
Go into your settings. Oh, Mr. Fancy Pants Rich McGee over here.
Going into my settings or whatever.
I have to go somewhere else to tell it to do this? The fuck?
You have to open a menu? Oh no, that's too much.
It's like telling me to go to someone else's fridge to get food. Like, I'm just gonna starve.
Just go into your neighbor's house, open the freezer, take out a popsicle.
I'm trying to see if anybody. Quinn was just talking. I thought Quinn was going to join us. I'm gonna yell at people for a second. Hold on.
Join in the chat.
Yeah. How are you doing? How are you feeling, man?
Oh, I have been better. I'm doing all right.
That's good. I mean, I'm glad that you're better.
It's better. It sucks, but it's better. So if we're talking comparatively, all right. In general, bleh. I never valued breathing more than I have recently, though, I'll tell you what.
I'm sure. Yes.
It's a thing that I was doing the whole time, not even giving a shit.
Who even gives a fuck about breathing? And
like, I'm just doing. I can do that and so many other things at the same time. And now it's like, no, you cannot. You have to fucking pick one.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I'm glad you're still able to do it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It probably should have slowed me down more than it has, which is probably why I'm still not better. So this is my own fault.
That's extreme.
Well, monster amount making sometimes. I just don't like to relax.
I'm glad you're feeling better, though. I mean,
thank you.
It's a relief. Everybody was very concerned when I said that.
Yes.
Like, oh no, not Hollingsworth.
Well, I appreciate that. It was wherever I got it, it was worth being there to get it. So I'm just, it's fine. Who just gets pneumonia? Like, I don't think that's a normal diagnosis, but whatever.
Yeah. People don't. Pneumonia is not common. I feel like.
No, I know that was
just out of old folks, like ants get pneumonia. Oh, my aunt got pneumonia.
Yeah, exactly. That's the joke everybody's been making. Like, oh, fuck, that's some old guy shit. I'm like, between that and not being able to do fucking anything on Discord, I might as well just retire.
I'm giving up.
I started, I better go get my fucking Centrum Silver vitamins and those breakfast shakes. Forget what those are
called.
Yeah, that's the one. Good times.
Good times indeed.
Well, I'm just waiting for a few more people to maybe poke their heads in. We'll see. I'm also just realizing I maybe didn't give a lot of notice. Because it's just me. It's just my way. My whimsical little.
Like, I want to do this. I want to do it now, and that's when it is.
I was like, well, Hollingsworth will be there. Good enough. And then I expect other people to just be around, and then they're like, they go and get lives, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go do something other than just be at your whim. And I'm like, oh,
ew,
gross.
Who wants to have a life?
Right? Stupid.
They just sit here and fucking watch Star Trek.
That's right. You got to hang out with us and rot.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Was we all doom scroll with each other and shit post mercilessly.
Yeah, but rot with friends.
Yeah.
rot with your friends. The fun new game from Steam.
Fuck. I wish that wasn't reality, but oh well.
I've been spending the last 10 minutes talking to try to sign my fucking tablet into the hotel Wi-Fi, or this grandpa ass shit is just making it.
All this grandpa shit.
Program my VCR.
You're in a hotel? Oh yeah, you're like traveling for work or some shit, right?
Yeah, it's a work thing today.
Oh, okay. Thanks for.
But it does limit my shit to do that's distracting. So this is actually a perfect time for this.
Okay, good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, great. I just realized that I get to see you in like a month.
Hell yeah!
Exciting. I'm coming in Tuesday and like 1:00 or some shit. What time are you in?
4.
Okay. All right. I'm not gonna wait.
Yeah. So, no, definitely not.
I'm definitely gonna like jump the light rail, I think, and take it downtown. That sounds fun. I want
Nice.
to ride a train. That sounds cool.
I recommend trains all day, every day.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you have been train converted.
I am so fucking train pilled. Hi, Emily.
Hi. I also agree. I'm so looking forward to the light rail.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. Well, we can, on the subject of festivals, it's been it's been a month since Dark Force Fest. Is that right?
Yeah.
It
has.
yes.
What stood out? What was great? I feel like it was, I don't want to color anybody's impressions or thoughts, but a month out, like as a festival, what did you think? Hollingsworth.
I know this is like the one thing we're going to talk about. Thought I'd be more prepared, but ultimately,
this is the one question this episode has, and you
already fucked it up. You can't get into Discord. Second, you can't figure out your mic. You barely breathe, you piece of shit. You can't even do that right.
You're doing so good, man.
Actually, I'll tell you what. Here's exactly why it was a tough question to answer, because the first thing that popped in my brain wasn't like the bands. It was like you guys. It was I've never done a festival like that where it just felt like the music was secondary. And for me, that's weird, because that's why I go to these things usually. Because like all the promoter stuff that I do, all the DJ stuff that I do, it's always, I won't say it's music first because of like, I don't care about the people, because that's 100% untrue. But like my pathway into this was music. The stuff that I like to hear, and I like to go to shows and I want to hear it live, repeat. And if I go to a festival, do it a bunch in a few days. Like so it was a weird feeling to have the things rattling around in my head to not be necessarily the music related stuff. I was asked this question by somebody recently too about like what stood out to you at the festival at Dark Force. And I did the same thing that I just did now. I had a blank, because I'm like, they're not going to know who I'm talking about when I say this. So I need to take a moment and actually be like, oh, surface level, this is the thing I, cared about.
No, good. I mean, that's a good answer. That's how I feel about it, is that when I think of the festival now, a month removed, I saw some bands, but I think of my hanging out with my friends. I think of the community that was there, and how it felt like a big party we were all at all the time. That's kind of what springs to mind for me. Quinn, hello. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Hey. Yeah, of course. I finally got everything working and made it.
No problem. Thank you all for joining me to discuss this rather on short notice, because somebody's not very good at announcing things and telling people. And, let's not name names.
Brian.
But what does anybody else have an answer? What stands out to you about Dark Force aside from maybe, and even if that's your answer as well, just like, what are your thoughts on why? Why was it different this time versus in the past?
Lucas, you go first.
Okay. So, my answer is kind of the same. It's like, I think the first year that I went, I don't even remember, like Solar Fake was playing. And like, I was really excited to see them. And like, obviously this year I was really excited to see the Crusados. But like, the thing that stands out to me is more like hanging out with everybody, making new friends, having all these like crazy fun experiences, like partying in the back rooms until 4 a.m. and, just like, randomly bumping into people in the hallway and just being like, hey, where are you going? Oh, you're doing this? All right, I'll come with you,
Yeah.
it was definitely that.
Okay. Emily.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny that we all are thinking the same thing. Like, yeah, I saw some bands and I could think of a couple bands that were like pleasant surprises because I didn't know about them ahead of time.
Mm.
And then a few other bands that I definitely came to see that did not disappoint. And some people like I'm trying to think like Clint Carney was just super friendly. And it was really funny in the photos. But at the end of the day, it was just really great seeing everybody in the flesh, like IRL, that I've been talking to online
Mm-hmm.
for the whole year leading up to it. It's like everybody came to life all in one place, and it was a little bit like overload. I never felt like I had enough time to do all the things and hang out with all the people that were there. And because of that, I actually missed a bunch of bands that I wanted to see because I was too busy hanging out with people
Yeah.
and getting pulled into a thousand different directions.
Mm-hmm.
And that was great. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
I might be able to see these bands again in some other locations locally, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to see these people again for another year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was actually, quite frankly, more important to hang out with people and then
Mhm.
instead of seeing the performers.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time. And yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
I think a lot of other people had a similar experience. Like, just this is like this community that we've all built, and we're all obviously desperately in need of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
lot, you know, a lot of emotional, like I felt emotionally charged for weeks afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. It felt like, hey, all of a sudden, all your friends are real people, and
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
you know that you don't get to hear the people that know you, like have read your thoughts and taken the time to respond thoughtfully to the things you say. Like it was, that is honestly the biggest aspect for me. Like that makes me want to. Oh, immediately I will plan to go back and do this again because if my people will be there, then I will go. I don't care
Right.
what the lineup is. Like, you know,
Mhm.
we will go see it and enjoy it, or you know, commiserate about how shitty it is together as friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Quinn, what about you?
I mean, pretty much the same.
Mm.
Like when I went to Dark Force Fest last year, it was just me and my partner and and my dog. And I didn't really know anybody. I went for excuse me, sorry. I went for the music, went for the artists and the bands. This year that was just so secondary, even like tertiary. I don't know. I wanted to hang out with my friends. I wanted to check out the vendors. I wanted to just sit outside and smoke with my buddies. The music was there, but it's not why I was there. It was
Mm.
a total reversal from last year. It felt like a completely different experience.
Hmm.
It felt like it meant a lot more this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Same. Meant a lot more this year, significantly. I mean, like, I remember the bands, but I really don't. I know. I mean, I guess that's the thing that we should talk about is that aside from how much we all like love each other or whatever,
Gross.
the,
Ew.
Um,
The power of friendship.
the sound quality was much improved, and I was relieved. I was
Yes.
worried that it was going to be bad again. But you know, even the sets that had like, you know, some hiccups and some bumps, like they got banged out in a pretty decent amount of time. Nothing felt too egregious. Yeah, the schedule got a little out of sync, but you know, a little cut here, a little cut there. It turned out okay, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many variables to manage that you'll never get it right. So, and I think that it was really
Exactly.
important that the organizers of the festival knew the complaints from last year and tried to do something on a huge scale compared to the events that weren't as big beforehand when they were doing the Dark Side of the Con stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's one of those like year one, whatever, people are going to have some grace, or they should. Year two, if you repeat the same mistakes, that's when it starts to wonder like, okay, is this a trend? Is this something that's going to cause me to be more concerned about coming back a third time? And I think they did the best that they could do across the board, especially comparatively, and also considering it's still a fucking hotel as far as sound goes. Like you can
Sure.
only
Yeah.
crank in so much, and you just got to find a sweet spot in that weird big room.
Mhm.
And because everywhere else is going to be awful, and that's not their fault. But I don't think they'll ever move the event from there. I think the castle's a part of it.
Mhm.
And so that's just a thing I feel like that if this is the best it gets, it's still fine. You're going to be fine.
I feel
It's not
like
going to turn people away.
yeah. I feel like that's a little bit unfortunate that the castle is so tied to Dark Forest because like it's not that big of a place and there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But
I feel like this is an event that could quickly outgrow the space.
Yeah.
Yes.
especially if they get like bigger and bigger bands to play.
Mhm.
But like I mean, I didn't find a too noticeable difference between like how crowded it was the first year and how crowded it was this year because like obviously there were more people. Like it was definitely there were more people. But like I feel like they fit okay. But I feel like if there were to be even more people a third time, it might start to become a problem.
hmm
Right.
But it is a fantastic location. What a weird
It
hotel.
is.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
In Parsippany of all places.
Mhm.
The weird after party rooms left such a
Oh my god.
positive impression of just like, let's get a bunch of fucking nerds in weird spaces. and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Like the fact that we're like dancing and like partying with like a whole like DJ setup in what's essentially just a hotel room with all the furniture removed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like really interesting. And again, like that back rooms place,
Oh my
whatever
God.
that was.
Yeah. That room
Just
was
like with-
crazy cool.
Yeah.
With
I
the
swear,
one with the
I've seen
random
it in my
bathroom.
dreams.
Yes, the
Yeah,
random
with-
bathroom.
The random bathroom and the
How
storage
convenient.
space that ended in a void space.
Yes.
Voice
Yes.
space,
Yes.
Space, yeah.
Void space.
I'm glad we found it. It was
It was
fun.
meant to be.
But on that note, like, were there any bands this year or band related sort of memories that stand out to you as like, oh shit, this was a thing that I don't know, stood out to me, I guess.
Oh man.
I don't know that I necessarily had any like wow moments.
Nitzer Ebb to me, I'll go ahead and just throw this out there. Nitzer Ebb to me was like a fantastic show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My expectations were low, and
Yeah.
because it's not the main guy doing the singing, and it's this and that and the other, and I'm just not a huge Nitzer Ebb guy, but it was a really fun show. I enjoyed being yelled at different instructions for about
Yes.
for an hour.
Yes.
I felt very motivated after, and
Even though I had to watch like half of their set from the floor because my feet were killing me by the end of the day, like it was still so good. Like I was still grooving on the floor. It was great.
yeah, really good.
Yeah. I know. Actually, that was a pleasant surprise. I also had low expectations for that one. I'm like, wow, he sounds like perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
I feel like they knew that like without half of the band, people had low expectations. So to come out and not half-ass it, which you could have totally done.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think anybody would have been like upset. It might have just been like, you met my low expectations because you have half of your operation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the fact that it wasn't that, and like 40 minutes into it, I didn't care. I forgot there was another person in the band. I didn't care. I was too busy having instructions shouted at me and being about it to need to care. And like, if I had never seen that, the complete version of that band, it won't sadden me greatly because I don't know what I've missed, but I enjoyed what I saw. So if it happens,
100%.
cool. If not, I'm completely satisfied.
100% agree.
Yeah. And there was definitely some like
Mm.
smaller bands that in the smaller room that
Yes.
were a lot of fun. I recently got into Night and it was cool to see them again, and the crowd there clearly was also really enjoying that. And Crew Lies was
Mhm. Crew Lies was
total,
great.
surprise. I knew nothing about them. I
Mhm.
think I maybe listened to a couple of the tracks on the there was a Dark Forest Fest Spotify playlist to kind of study ahead of time
Mhm.
to see what bands I wanted to try to catch live. And I remember liking all of their tracks, and then when I saw them live on Sunday when everybody was exhausted, they were like kind of perfect. They were the perfect energy for Sunday. in a way. And I remember the guy, the lead singer, got up and was like, "It's Sunday, you're doing great," you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
And he looked like he had been up all night drinking too.
Yeah.
But he didn't sound like they sounded great, but like he kind of had like this squinty, look about him.
Yeah.
And that was a really great band to kind of close out the weekend for me. And then for me personally, bringing 6-inch platform shoes really improved my entire experience because I could see.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was nice to be able to look you in the eyes a little more easily than having to like lean over or squat down. But yeah, Crew Lies, I agree, like had the right energy on Sunday.
Yes.
And speaking of like the smaller stage, like Angels in Agony were great.
Yes.
Fantastic energy. And both Ego Likeness and Stoneburner sets were really fantastic as well.
Yeah, those were fire. Those were great.
Yeah.
I've
Ego
got a-
Likeness was so fun.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. To pop back to Crew Lies again real quick. Like I was in the same boat about like this. I went in super cold. I've never turned from zero like all the way onto a band so quickly.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm not like most of the dark wavy stuff isn't my jam. Like what they do is not my thing. But the way they do that thing has changed my mind about their version of the thing.
Oh.
And I just got to see them last weekend in Vancouver.
Oh shit.
They were the only other band that was at both of these festivals I went to, and they blew the roof off of this venue. Like there were some amazing bands that played at that festival. That was way more like death rocky, dark wavy, like not so much my thing, but I did it as like a business thing. Like these are bands that most of them are like in Vancouver or close by, and so am I. So this makes sense for me to be here. But I was talking to several people that said that they were like one of the top 3 performances of the weekend. And I just felt cool because I felt like I was on the bottom floor or something like from 3 weeks earlier and I had literally never heard of the band 5 weeks before that. So I got to feel like super like hipstery cool, even though I'm totally completely behind it. But and the guy recognized me from chatting with him too. So that was just a neat little, like connection back to, hey, I remember seeing you on the East Coast. How are we both like, meeting each other on the other coast since they're Cali and, we're close by. It was just a really neat experience. And, to have that connection back to Dark Force at another festival, to see them on a small stage, just rip it up. And then they got on a big stage and blew people's minds. And there were some pretty big bands at this festival that I feel like performance wise killed it, but they were right up there. And so,
agree.
It was a fun treat.
Yeah. Went in cold. Catching them open for Actors like a couple years back and just blew me away. Was like, this is a band, this is a name I won't forget. Because it, again, like that's not my genre. I don't listen to that kind of stuff. That's not really my thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, to be fair, that is absolutely my genre.
Yeah.
So, you
would have loved this festival in Vancouver. I mean, we're not going to talk about that one here. We can talk about that some other time since this is about our DFF experience. But
right. We'll have to talk about it at Mechanismus.
Yes.
Yeah. But no, and I have all of their. Well, Brett got their entire discography on Bandcamp, and I bought like all their shirts afterwards and everything. So yeah, I'm a convert. So anyway, yeah, we're just gonna.
I feel bad. I missed their set, and I have not listened to a single one of their songs. I should probably do that, I guess.
It's worth your time.
Yeah, I would agree. Also, A Starry Night kind of blew me away. Really good.
Yeah, same.
I wanted to. That was a band
impressed.
I missed. I was so bummed out.
Yeah, yes.
Alice.
Yes. Alice,
They were so good.
They are so good, dude. Like that is speaking of bands that like is not my main flavor. Catching them live is like they've just like Crew Lies in that respect of just like they just have this magic to them that's just like they just come across as such genuine people, and it's so good. Yeah, Alice was great.
Yeah, they're one I'll catch. Like I rarely listen to their stuff like on like Spotify or just in general, but I will catch them live 100 out of 100 times if I can. I would book them to come back to town in a heartbeat. They are amazing, like performers, and that's one of those things that is nice about going to festivals is you can actually there's multiple opportunities to see like, how does this music translate? I mean, that's a big part about just the concert going experience in general, is like, what's the live experience versus the recorded material experience.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's like a headliner and an opener and both are mid and that was the whole experience, cool. I could have done something better with my Wednesday. But for these, since you have so many different opportunities, you get these little bits of like, this band blew me away, or they sounded amazing, or this isn't my genre, but I like them, or these guys sounded exactly like I hoped they would live.
Mm-hmm.
And that's cool for me because I don't want it to discolor my experience when I listen to them on record, knowing that it's dookie in person.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a thing that I have to be honest about, is that if I see a band live and it's sounding not great and maybe not going great, and it's not the sound, it's like clearly their fault, it sticks with me of like, okay, you can operate inside of a space, the confines of a space where you have almost infinite time to perfect a thing. But when transitioning that to beyond is, doesn't sound great or anything. Yeah, that sticks with me a little.
And in the case of like, I was just going to say something else. I was looking, I have the list pulled up because there's no way I was going to remember.
Me too. I had to. I was like, who the fuck else?
Eva X was another example of,
yes,
in the case of like recorded material, she's worked on her stuff for a long time to get it better and better. Live, it was needed some work because she was but she was putting herself out there. And that performance at Dark Force, I've seen her like 5 or 6 times. She's lives close by, tours the Northwest all the time. Like I've seen her a ton. We're all going to see her back at Nesbitt again for everybody that's going, by the way. But she raised her own bar with that performance, and it was neat to be able to like see that from somebody who I see all the time. And so even though I had no reason to catch their set from a experience perspective, like I know what to expect, knowing that the live show has had so much like continued work put into it, to see that work, especially for people that, you've talked to, them. It's like, it's kind of another little treat of something like this where you can kind of almost get down on such a smaller level to see incremental improvements in this project that you would never be close enough to really notice. And it's just neat to be able to like tell basically your friend afterwards how much they crushed it.
Yeah.
Because they did.
Yeah.
I didn't have to go like say good show, despite it maybe not being one.
Yes.
I don't want to be put in that spot.
Agreed. And I've seen Gabby a lot, like perform live a bunch of times. And, same as you, like this was her best yet. I was like you said, I don't want to go say a thing that's not true and be disingenuous. Nobody's out here for, at least for me, I don't want a pat on the head. Like, don't, tell me what I could do better and, being honest with me. But I was excited to go up to her afterward and be like, you fucking killed it. You have come so far. Like, to feel that sort of pride and like, you're doing it. Like you're fucking, getting up there and killing it. And it's starting to, show like this razor's edge is sharp. Like you have found your footing. So yeah, I agree. That was a good one. That was cool.
And she was sick.
Yes. And sick.
She was?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, she was very sick.
Yeah.
You wouldn't been able to tell. So it's even better that you crushed this, like, and the slot she got stuck in, like the Sunday morning after the afters, after like the last afters.
Yeah.
The matinee slot in the big room.
Yes. And
like,
and it was busy in there. Like
she did tell me that I think there was a sound check from one of the headliners and then everybody just hung out. Which they didn't leave. So who cares how they got there? Like they didn't turn around and leave. If that was the case,
yeah,
you kept them. And that's, hell yeah.
That's what you would want anyway, right? Of like, who the fuck is this? And people just being like, okay, cool, great. Yeah. Was there anybody that you saw that was, I want to talk shit so bad, but we won't. So I won't ask if there were performances that maybe you thought were bad. I mean, it's fine. If nothing stands out to you as like, ooh, remember when so-and-so got up there and it was really fucking bad, then good. I mean, like, I'd rather you didn't have that experience.
Well, I gotta pull up the lineup because
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
Let's see. I'm looking at the lineup now.
Everyone knows that all I want to do is gush about the Crusados. So,
it's true. It's true.
Okay, so as a Crew Shadows mega fan, how
Uh-huh.
was the Crew Shadows performance?
Fantastic.
Okay.
I've seen them 4 times now, and they've never had a bad show.
hmm
I saw their sound check on Sunday morning, and it went really well. But yeah, it was great.
Good.
Crowd seemed happy. Performance was amazing. Rogue sounded great. Got to
Okay.
dance on the stage.
Stabbing
that's
Westward
cool.
was really good. I will add, like,
Mhm.
you know, they were
Yeah.
eager to get them to end their set, and they were running a little long. But man, Chris sounds great, and they really fucking killed it. Like,
Yeah, they were awesome.
mhm. Rabbit Junk was also fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
System Sin was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I also love System Sin. That was a great show.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Clint's studio work, but like the Systems and live show is like, it's different once you have like a guitar and like some drums.
I was gonna
and-
say,
yeah, a little more energy
I-
behind it.
I remember seeing System Sin like, God, years and years ago, and it was just Clint on stage, and there was nothing wrong with that. But it kind of goes back to the Eva X thing, right? Getting a live drummer, getting Eric on guitar, like that adds so much depth to it, so much more to look at and feel like you're getting a live show. And like in this genre, you get a lot of dude on laptop, dude with controller type of stuff, and that's fine. Like if I talk shit about that, I'm gonna start to alienate like hundreds of bands that I love.
Sure.
But I don't think when done right, it's definitely an enhancement.
Agreed. And yeah, Clint definitely has it hammered out. Like the live System Sin is different enough from his recorded work to be a different experience, a good representation of a thing. Then Come Silence was great. I caught a Vision video track. It sounded fine. I mean, it's not really my thing. I don't want to sound like blasé about it. They're a great band, very talented, put on a great show, but just not really my thing. So it was like, and I caught part of their set last year too, and it is what I expected, I guess. A solid performance.
They have a certain throwback sound that some people like and some people don't.
Sure.
They know exactly what they're doing, and they play to that crowd, and it's why that they've continued to get popular. So, it's not for me, but it sounds good in the thing that they do, and that's the number one key for them.
Yeah, I think Dusty's current event commentary was like fucking spot on.
Yes.
During their performance.
Agreed.
Yeah, and it's funny. So I watched their whole set last year and this year because I am one of those fangirlies. And that's fine.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. We do not judge that here.
Yeah, and actually, I discovered them through the music and not TikTok, believe it or not.
I found them through TikTok.
Yeah,
Same.
I was very late to the party with the TikTok stuff. But his commentary last year was very similar, and then of course more events happened throughout the year that he commented on this year, and apparently he commented saying like, yeah, apparently last year I talked too much, so I bet you can't wait until I'm gonna just talk some more now because fuck you. And I loved it. You know what I mean? Like he didn't say a damn thing that I disagreed with. So.
I liked it because like I was hearing people start up discussions about current events in the crowd around me, and there were these two people behind me where one guy was like, what is he talking about? And then the other guy turned to him and was just like educating him on whatever it was that Dusty was talking about. And I thought that was really cool. Yeah.
Oh, that is a total 180 from what I saw last year.
Oh, really?
What did you?
It was nice.
Yeah, last year I was watching Vision Video, and there were these two people behind me, and one of them looked at the other, and she was like, very loudly, she's like, "Oh my God, I didn't know they were so political."
Oh my God, really?
Have you ever listened to a single Vision video? So why are you here? What brought you here? How did you end up here?
Yeah, we just
it's like a woman at the sushi restaurant who was surprised that they have fish. Like, I just want to sit down and talk with you. What led you to this point? I want to know.
Did she confuse them with another band?
Right?
Yeah. And, major shout out and props for, like, using your platform when you've got it.
Absolutely.
Say.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like oh, they've got like a spoopy aesthetic. It's going to be about ghosts and stuff. Like, like
No.
maybe they didn't do any homework, especially if you came in from just the goth dad angle, like makeup tutorials and stuff.
Sure.
I don't know. Like I can see it happening with a band whose aesthetic doesn't necessarily match what they're singing about, but that's the point of the band.
Yeah.
If you know that, if you're just looking at pictures, I probably wouldn't look at Dusty and think political band either.
No. And
Yeah.
I do feel like that's part of the point is lure people in with
Exactly.
one thing and hey, here's the message.
And then
Yeah.
hook them with the point. Exactly. No, I get behind that.
Yeah. Two other quick bands that I want to shout out at least before we kind of wrap this up. But Augur was amazing.
Yeah.
Just fucking incredible. I had so many people telling me to go catch Augur, and I'm so glad I did. Just awesome performance. October Noir was the other one. I like those dudes. Like they were really cool when I had them on the show, and like I like their music. They played a good set. We're really like patient while getting sound check stuff hammered out, and just took everything like in stride. We're hanging out in the hallways, chat with people, and like really friendly and approachable, like cool people doing a cool thing.
That's awesome. Did they play? Because I missed their set. Of course. Did they play Wicked Games?
Yes, they did. I think they even
Nice.
opened with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good. Good set. Okay, last thing I'll put to each one of you. Not what have you been enjoying recently? I don't care about that. What is do you have one particular memory from Dark Force Fest that you would say is your favorite?
Ooh.
I have one.
Okay. Hit us with it.
Getting ready for bed the first night and hearing a thunk at the end of my bed, looking and seeing Mishi like looking at me like I can come up here. And then her sleeping in bed with me every night all weekend.
It's true. My service dog abandoned me to go hang out with her Uncle Lucas.
But truly, really, the best experience was meeting everybody from Discord and like hanging out in person finally.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
I really liked dancing in the club and sharing mango and like being able to wander, bust out my phone and be like, hey, where are you? Meet us here. And just being able to have a friend anywhere I wanted to go. That was like pretty great. Having camaraderie, having a gang, the community just at large, but in particular, just fond memories of like dancing in the back rooms and like, hanging out with like my favorite people, having ridiculous fucking conversations that don't matter the next day or now, and that's fine. But the after parties, I guess they feel like one huge one, and that's okay. But yeah.
Right. Brian, did you like the pies?
Oh, the pies were wonderful, dude. I had so many great memories this weekend that weekend that it's hard to remember all of them. Like, I also never expected people to throw me a fucking pie party. Like, it was so amazing. And, it's too many things to try and pick out. And I loved like the non-festival shit that happened. The like, let's go to lunch or let's go to breakfast or whatever. And like, it was great. It was great in that respect. What about you, Emily? You got anything?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to sound repetitive, but it's basically, the same thing, just hanging out with the people. There was a couple people that I hadn't met in person before, and meeting them, I could tell that they were just so happy. They felt like they were kind of in their element with their tribe for the first time, and talking to them, just being like their real authentic selves, like everybody just lit up, and seeing people at their best was incredible. And it was infectious. I also felt like really charged, and endless parties. Like I didn't want to go to sleep. I think I stayed until 4 a.m. one night. Maybe that was Saturday. Dancing my butt off in the liminal space.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was great. In my 6-inch demonias, which were so comfortable. I
Mhm.
couldn't believe it. Like my feet never hurt. Like it was crazy. I don't know how that happened. And it was, yeah, I'm just can't wait till the next one. And that's actually a big reason that I'm even going to Seattle to Mechanismus is because of all of the people that I connected with at Dark Force. Because trust me, had I not gone to Dark Force this year and not had that experience, I wouldn't even bother
Oh
with
yeah,
Mechanismus.
because
Yeah.
it just you were like, I want to do this again as soon as
I want to do
possible.
this again. I'm kind of like addicted to this now, and I'll see how many I can afford.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I would love to do Chicago too. Cold Waves, I don't think it's going to work with my schedule, but like I would absolutely do that too if it did. Yeah, you kind of get addicted to that like emotional high, I guess.
Yeah.
Because going back to real life was rough.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Quinn, you got anything?
Oh, I'm gonna try really hard not to cry, okay?
Okay.
I think, yeah, of course, there's, hanging out with my friends and all of that, everything that y'all just said.
Hmm.
Looking forward to all the festivals I'm gonna do this year. But I'd say if there was one thing that just really, really stuck with me from Dark Force Fest is I'm not going to say that any of the bands that were there are like my favorite of all time band that I was like dying to see, but like they're bands that I liked. And a lot of them are bands that, I grew up with.
Hmm.
And growing up pretty, pretty poor, I couldn't afford to see any of these bands growing up.
Hmm.
So they would come through Chicago and my friends would go, but I couldn't go with them. And, it's taken 15, 20 years, 25 years even, to finally get to go with my friends to see these artists.
Hmm.
So, I think in a lot of ways, there were so many times that weekend that I would be, hanging out with y'all and I would just close my eyes and just feel the music and feel that energy and just kind of let that little 16-year-old boy who never got to do this just let him have a moment
Hmm.
and live that life that he didn't get to have. So I don't know, healing my inner child, I guess,
Yeah.
was a big component for me this weekend.
Yeah.
So, and thank you to all of you for being a part of it because it meant a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hollingsworth, what do you got?
Oh, I have to follow that up.
Yeah, you do.
I was going to say, not even Wumpscut has a Wumpscut tattoo.
The most savage burn I've ever received about my tattoo. So fucking funny. Shit.
I'll expand slightly because that was just my way to. I feel like we started this however, wrapping it with the same experience of like this being, because you've got the bands, they're the focus, they're in front of you. That's kind of the thing, but it's the sideways stuff. It was the things that were, adjacent to it, the friends, the parties, the jokes. I've never been to a festival where I didn't care as much about the bands that were playing, which is again, like I said at the beginning, it's weird for me. It's a weird anxiety I have. Like if I go to these, like it's like a weird rite of passage. I got to see every band. I have to see them at least so I can add this to this pointless list that no one cares about. Like, but it's more than that sometimes. And this was like a really good way for me to see that. Cause sometimes I just like, well, I'll be a festival warrior. I'll go by myself sometimes and just grind this out. Cause that's why I'm there. And that's fine. I still get joy from that, but this is a different joy. And, it was funny. Like, sorry, I just thought of something else looking at the list. You mentioned Angels in Agony earlier. One of my favorite just like side memories was watching those dudes have such a great time they were in every single time I was seeing a band, they were in the room. One of them was there just vibing to whatever, like whether they knew the music or cared about it in the sense of like, I'm a fan. They were there like supporting other artists. And I guess like full circle, like that's kind of just, it was like a weird little, just kind of a snapshot for me of like, what it's actually about rather than just going to watch bands. Like it's about a much bigger thing.
Yeah. Being in the moment with a bunch of other people who are in the same moment.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was It was beautiful, and so many wonderful memories were made that it's like, but most of those memories don't have to do with bands. Did I see memorable performances? Sure, absolutely. But the things that stick out in my mind are the things that I did with the people there, and how much fun it was, and how good it felt. So yeah, agreed. All right, well, that's it. Unless somebody has some last final thought, then that's it. You may go. But until next time, I guess.
Thanks for the chat. Now in the chat.
That was the true best moment of Dark Force
That was
Fest.
the true
Yeah.
best moment of Dark Force Fest was
Nitzer
Nitzer
Edged.
Nitzer Edge.
Just the best joke of all time. So good. So
Oh
funny.
my god.
My sides hurt so fucking bad, like after some of the days, because I was just laughing so hard the whole time. Like it was just such bliss, like being around all of you for so much time. I'm so grateful. Thank you all so much.
Well, thanks for
Yeah.
bringing us all together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Exactly.
Can't wait to do it again.
my pleasure.
absolutely. September, here I come.
Yeah. June here, a couple of us come.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll see you there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Lucas, you'll be there
Sweet.
in spirit. Oh my God, what
Yeah.
if we took photos, but in Lucas's place we had a little mechanical pencil that we hold up,
Oh,
and we can put some little googly eyes on it and shit. This is
We have like little alien head like topper on it.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
This is a great idea.
All right.
All right, cool. Well, thank you.
I
all.
even have Ticonderoga pencils.
Oh
So
my Lord.
Perfect.
yes.
Okay. I
We're
approve
bringing the
of this
lads.
message.
Pencil approved.
Pencil approved.
Pencil approved.
All right. Thank
This
you.
conversation is pencil approved.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Void Signal intro and outro music courtesy of Processor. Visit processor2.bandcamp.com for more Processor, and visit voidsignal.net to help support the creation of more Void Signal. Thank you.